Ladies and gentlemen, we are live tonight for a special edition of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. First and foremost, glad to see you guys in the chat down below. We are starting off another series on this game. Of course, we're doing the custom schedule seasons. We already ran through the modified series. Now it is time for the Craftsman Truck Series custom schedule. We'll go through all of the rules coming into this season, which obviously you guys pretty much already know. 100% race length. Unlimited fuel and tire wears is off, so that means we will be having pit stops, normal damage as usual, and then the yellow flags, of course, will be on. AI difficulty on Legend, as always, as well. Custom schedule season. This is going to be a 23 race custom schedule season. We'll go through each and every one of those races. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We got full race live streams with the realistic commentary as we do on a nightly basis. Welcome, everybody. I have a very different setup in the background today. As you can see, the wall is not completely done painted. If I actually adjust my camera just a bit, let me see here. Yeah, if I adjust my camera a bit, that is going to be the new backdrop, the new wall. It's not done yet. There's nothing on the wall yet. I obviously had to go back to where. Well, first off, I was sick, so I didn't even have time to go out and look at shelving units or anything like that. Within the next couple weeks, there will be stuff on that wall, and it will be ready to go before the start of the season for when we do the predictions, the post-race analysis videos, the live streams with the live race commentary and all that. Of course, the live streams for this. You won't see it full screen with the video game stuff, but you will see it full screen for a lot of the other stuff. So that is still to come. That is in the works. You're going to see that slowly be progressed here over the next little bit. So for right now, kind of a makeshift setup. I actually have my laptop sitting on the corner of my bed right now. It's stabilized enough that it should not move as long as I don't, I rarely get up from my seat, so I shouldn't accidentally bump it. But we'll hope for the best. Let me get this centered off again because it looks like I'm tilted. I'm slanted. See, that's what I mean. I shifted it just a little bit, and I kind of messed it up a hair. All right, I think we're good right now. All right, so let's go Truck Series racing. Of course, as you see on the title of the video, which we kind of assumed the first race of the season was going to be at Daytona. Tonight's race will be at Daytona, 250 miles, 100 laps. You guys also get to fan vote. Don't go anywhere. You guys get to fan vote which driver I will race as for this custom schedule season, just like you did for the modified series, just like you did for the Truck Series on our first season when we did the actual 2004 schedule, as well as the Cup and the Busch Series on the actual 2005 schedule. So fan vote once again for who I will race as after we get through the schedule. So without further ado, let's get it going. Of course, again, season opener at Daytona. That's going to be race number 1 here tonight. Race number 2 that is going to be on display tomorrow night will be at the Watkins Glen International. We did not race at Watkins Glen at all on the 2004 actual schedule season. It was not there, so we will be racing at Watkins Glen for the first time ever for the Truck Series. It'll be 75 laps, actually kind of long for a truck race considering the length of that road course, but that will be race number 2 in the season. First mile and a half racetrack will be at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for race number 3. Race number 4 will be at the California Speedway. That's like a mini super speedway when it comes to this game. It feels like, especially with the Truck Series 2-mile oval, that should put on a pretty good show. And that is also under the lights, 100 laps. After that, we go to one of the more difficult racetracks in NASCAR at Darlington for our first trip there on the season. In fact, I believe that is the only trip to Darlington on the Truck Series schedule. Then from Darlington, we head to Dover for the next race. Race number 6. Race number 7 will be held on the Dodge Raceway. The first fantasy track will be put in place. Las Vegas will be the second mile and a half race on the season. So we'll head to Las Vegas. I believe that is under the lights as well. And it is. Then we head to the next 2-mile racetrack, my home track at Michigan. The other M-related racetrack, the Milwaukee Mile, another short track on the schedule that was actually on the 2004 schedule. We'll have it at race number 10 for this custom schedule season. From Milwaukee, we head to Martinsville, so a lot of short tracks here in the middle portion of the season. That Martinsville race will be 200 laps for the Kroger 200. For Martinsville, we head to another short track at Phoenix. From the half mile to a 1 mile flat track. And after Phoenix, we head back to another mile and a half as we go to Texas. And that Texas race will be 167 laps. I picked the wrong one. Hang on. I was trying to figure out which one it was. There we go. That would be the 167 lap race in the daytime sky. Next fantasy track on the schedule will be at the Levi Strauss Signature Speedway for race number 14. Then we head to Old Spice Speedway for our second road course race of the year, another fantasy racetrack on this game. Then we head to Lowe's Motor Speedway in this game, obviously now known as Charlotte Motor Speedway. So heading to Lowe's Motor Speedway for the first and only time there, another mile and a half. Then we head to another short track under the lights at Bristol Motor Speedway. Personally, my favorite racetrack in all of NASCAR, always has been ever since I was a little kid, even playing games like this. Then we head to another mile and a half. We head to Kansas for the first time this season. Back to Watkins Glen. It'll be the first track we go to for a second time on the year. Same race length, 75 laps as the first time. It would be the third and final road course race for this 23 race custom schedule season. From a long road course to a short track, just over 0.6 of a mile in length. Again, another track that is not actually on the schedule. Well, I guess it will be brought back technically on the schedule in real life next season, but as far as this game goes, there it is, Indianapolis Raceway Park, IRP, of course now known as the Lucas Oil Raceway. So from IRP, we head to the Red Ball Raceway for the first and only time on the season. 200-lap race there at about a half-mile short track. Race number 22 will be held at Homestead Miami Speedway. It'll be the final mile and a half racetrack of the season. And we finish right where we started with the season finale at Daytona under the lights. That is going to be epic if we end up having a race for the championship there. So that will be the full custom schedule season. Time to win all 23 races. I doubt that. Daytona is probably my Achilles heel in this game. For those of you that are not familiar with me playing this game in the past, we have not won at Daytona for a points-paying race in any series here. We're 0 for 1 in the Truck Series. We're 0 for 2 in the Busch Series. We're 0 for 2 in the Cup Series. Let's try not to go 0 for 6 tonight. We'll see if we can get it done. And hopefully we can have a big enough points lead by the time that final race of the season comes around that when we roll back to Daytona, hopefully we can hope for some better things. So definitely going to have to be very careful tonight to try and get that first win at Daytona in this game. I did win a dual race at Daytona before, but that was only 50 laps, and it was a 9-points race. Other than that, I have not won at Daytona on this game. I also didn't win the Budweiser shootout that we ran there as well on the actual season. So that will be the 23 race schedule. The only two tracks we go to multiple times is Daytona for the first race and the last race, and then Watkins Glen we go to the second race and the 19th race, if I remember correctly. Will be the two races at Watkins Glen. The only reason I went to Watkins Glen twice is because there were only two road courses to choose from, Old Spice Speedway and Watkins Glen. I like Watkins Glen a lot. It's been my favorite road course. I mean, granted, I know there was only a couple of road courses to pick from for the longest time, but even now with all these other road courses in the sport of NASCAR, and Watkins Glen is still my favorite, so definitely going to Watkins Glen another time. And this game, we've had some crazy races at Watkins. Not just this game, the EA Sports games in general. NASCAR Thunder 2004 and this game, they seem to be maybe a little bit of wreckfest from time to time with the AI, but for whatever reason, it's been absolute pandemonium. We saw that for the Modified Series race there already. The one time we raced there on our Modified Series custom schedule season, so I'm sure we will see two crazy races. First coming tomorrow night, of course. And now the moment you guys have been waiting for, down in the chat, you guys will get to vote for who I will race as for this custom schedule season. There are two exceptions to this rule. Number one, we cannot race as Carl Edwards because we raced as Carl Edwards for the actual 2004 scheduled series season because you guys, the fans, voted for me to race as Carl Edwards. So we will not be racing the Super Chips 99 truck for Roush Fenway Racing. That will be off the table. But of all of the other drivers who are not fantasy drivers that you guys have to pick from, we'll run through those quickly. We got his teammate, of course, John Wood in the 50 Pennzoil truck. Basic paint scheme, all white. I always love the Pennzoil logo for some reason, though. Seems to pop well on race car. So we got that going for us. Brandon Witt, the 38 truck, the Warner Ladders race truck. Black, a little bit of blue on the side of the truck. I think black on the tailgate as well. We saw Brandon Witt actually win at Daytona on the actual season series. We got a former champion of Travis Quaffle in the Lion X truck. He was our main competitor for the championship in the actual truck series season we ran the first time through here. We got Bill Lester in the Bill Davis Racing number 22 truck. Bill Lester, always one of my favorite truck drivers growing up as a kid. We got Chad Chafin in the number 18 Dickies truck. Jack Sprigg in the 16 truck, also a former champion. Of course, he's raced in the Zero car on our NASCAR Thunder 2004 season, so we saw him in the truck series. Of course, the number 16 synonymous with my favorite driver growing up as a kid, Greg Biffle. This is a Chevy and not a Ford, though. We'll say that. Matt Crafton in the number 6 GM Goodwrench truck. Now, we did race as Matt Crafton in NASCAR Heat 5 for our custom schedule season there. We will not be racing as Matt Crafton, we will not be racing as Matt Crafton for future NASCAR games, but as far as the Classic Game Series goes, Matt Crafton is on the table. You guys can vote for him. And probably my favorite paint scheme of all of them. Of course, you guys know me to really like the blue and yellow paint schemes growing up. Even to this day, if there's a nice blue and yellow paint scheme, Christopher Bell's Irwin Tools paint scheme that comes to mind. Definitely is one of my favorites currently in NASCAR today, even though it's not a primary sponsor. This Square D Bobby Hamilton Senior race truck, when he drove the Square D car in the Cup Series there in the early 2000s, Kenny Wallace, I believe did as well there in the early 2000s. Always like the Square D paint scheme. So that is what we have to vote from. That's what you guys have to choose from. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're recovering well from your COVID. Santiago Kid Patrick Shadley, welcome as well into the chat. Again, you guys get to vote for the drivers that I will race as. Joshua Rumsey, Dark Crypto, welcome into the stream. And 9 people watching, 4 likes. Definitely hit that like button. Subscribe again for more daily NASCAR content. And again, vote down in the chat below who you want me to race as for this NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 season. Getting a stopwatch or a timer on my laptop real quick. No, I don't want to buy one. Why would I do that? Online stopwatch. Countdown. We're going to set the stopwatch to 3 minutes. And we will start it now. So you guys got 3 minutes to vote down in the chat below. Whatever driver gets the most votes, of course, is the driver we will race as for this custom schedule season. We got 1 vote for Michael Turner. Welcome to the stream, by the way, for John Wood. The Ford F-150. We could race as both the Roush trucks in this 05 gameplay. And again, whatever driver we end up picking here will be off the table for the rest of the classic game playthroughs 06, 07, 08 as we work our way up as usual. So just be prepared if you pick somebody that maybe was in the truck series for a long time, like a Matt Crafton or a Ron Hornaday or something like that of that nature. Todd Bodine was there for a long time. Jack Sprague, of course, was there for a long time. Bill Lester. So be aware that if you do pick one of those guys now, that you will not be able to pick them down the road. And Billy says John Wood. So that's 2 votes for John Wood. Patrick Shadley has a vote for Bobby Hamilton Sr. in the Square D. So we got 1 vote for Bobby Hamilton. We got 2 votes for John Wood. It'd be fitting, though, if we did end up winning that we did win the championship in the first season with Carl Edwards, if we could do it with the other Roush truck. So it's 2-1 right now. 11 people watching the stream in the very beginning. Again, vote for your driver, maybe your favorite driver from 2004 in the Truck Series. Ethan, welcome to the stream. What happened to the room setup with the Blaney merch? I am in the middle of construction, I guess you would say. There is some construction going on the side over here. I could have probably put the flag up tonight. I didn't feel like putting another hole in the wall, though, with the push pins, so you probably won't be seeing that flag up for about another week or so. But you will be seeing plenty more stuff on that wall in the near future. I've got some plans, people. I've got some plans. This is like my office, basically. Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream. Why is there 2 people? What are you talking about? Why is there 2 people? There are 2 of me? I don't think there's 2 of me. Got so used to the camera setup with the Blaney. I know. And Blaney flag will be back up eventually. It will be on this wall, but there will also be other stuff on the wall too than just the Blaney flag. I'm excited for it. I've been wanting to decorate this room in NASCAR for a little while now. That the channel's starting to gain some more traction. All right, again, vote for your favorite driver from 2004, the driver you want me to race as. I saw Matt Craftsman did get another vote as well. You guys got 30 seconds. 30 seconds to vote. That's all we got left on the timer. So place your vote. So we got 1 vote for Bobby Hamilton, 1 vote for Matt Craftsman, and 2 votes for John Wood. Surprised John Wood's got the voting so far, I will say. I was honestly expecting either Bobby Hamilton or Bill Lester to win this, or Matt Craftsman. Only because Craftsman still actually. Craftsman is the only guy that is actually still racing today that is on this list, and that's not just Truck Series. Like that's in any of the top 3 series in NASCAR. He's the only one in this game in the Truck Series that's still racing. Because Carl Edwards is retired. John Wood, he's been running part-time here and there, picking up like a couple rides a year, every couple of years or so. All right. Got 5 seconds. And that is going to wrap it up. It looks like we're racing as John Wood for the season. 2 votes to 1-1. We do have 16 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Should we give more time to the people who just tuned in to vote? If you do have a chance to vote. We only had 4 people vote. It's for everybody watching for which driver I will use for this custom schedule season. I may make it quick. I might just put 30 seconds back on the clock again. Problem is, I just closed out of the timer, so now I gotta look at back. I'll give you guys 30 more seconds to vote, just because we had a lot of new people coming in here. What number are you driving tonight? Yeah, Santiago Kid, you get to vote. Who do you want me to drive as for this custom schedule season? The driver I'll be using all season long. And Bobby Hamilton, Matt Craftsman, Jack Sprigg, Chad Chafin, Bill Lester, Travis Quaffle, Brandon Witt, John Wood, and then Carl Edwards is off the table, as well as the custom. Carl Edwards is off the table because we used him for the first season for the Truck Series, and then no fantasy drivers. Kalen Crosby says Chad Chafin. Thank you for watching, joining the stream. Yes, give a little more time. Yeah, I don't like giving too much time for this because it eats into the actual live stream itself, and obviously you guys want me to get racing, but we have a lot more people joining into the stream, into the chat all of a sudden over the last couple minutes. Cerebral Assassin, another one, welcome to the stream. So right now, John Wood is leading the vote, and I'll kind of rotate through the paint schemes for you guys. Maybe younger audience out there that doesn't really know what the paint scheme. Honestly, like I forgot what most of the paint schemes are until I picked this game back up again. just because it has been so long since I've either played the game or obviously seen the trucks race in 2005. Street. Did I say that right? Stefreech. Stefreech, welcome to the stream. Also says Chad Chafin. That's 2 votes for Chafin. So we got 2 for Chafin all of a sudden. I do like the Dickies paint scheme. I'm trying to think who has ran a Dickies paint scheme in the last couple of years in NASCAR. Didn't Ryan Blaney run one recently within the last couple of years? Bobby Hamilton, because I can't see the drivers very well. Oh, the number. Yeah, Bobby Hamilton's in the number 4. Matt Crafton's in the number 6. Jack Sprague in the 16. Chad Chafin in the 18. Bill Lester in the 22. Travis Quaffle in the 24. Brandon Witt in the 38. And John Wood in the 50 is what we have to choose from. Not many of the actual drivers from the 2004 season were actually in this game. They had a lot more Busch at Cup Series drivers. So now we got 2 votes for Hamilton, 2 for Chafin, and 2 for 2019 race at Kansas. Oh, you're talking about the Dickies paint scheme? Yeah, I thought Ryan Blaney had a Dickies. Obviously, I'm a Blaney fan, so I probably know that. But I thought he had a Dickies paint scheme recently. But I remember he didn't race it that often. He might have raced at Texas too, only because it was the Dickies 500 a couple of years ago. I think 2018. I know he ran a Dex Imaging car at Texas for the fall race one year too. Well, now we're tied. So we got 2 votes for Chad Chafin. We got 2 votes for Bobby Hamilton Sr. We got 2 votes for John Wood. So that seems to be where we're stuck at right now. We need, and then we got 1 vote for Matt Crafton. So we got 17 people watching right now. Of course, like, share, and subscribe, but also get your vote in. This is your only chance to vote for which driver I'll use for this custom schedule season. So I don't want you guys to miss out. We'll get to the racing very, very, very shortly. 100 laps, 250 miles under the lights at Daytona to kickstart this custom schedule truck series season. And then you can check out the beginning of the stream after the fact to check out what the actual custom schedule consisted of. 21 different tracks in this 23 race season, so a lot of variety. I don't even think I'd go into every track available either. We got to break the tie. So somebody else who either hasn't voted yet, or somebody, or even Ethan who voted for Crafton. Well, somebody else votes for Crafton, then we got a 4-way tie. We need to break this tie. This is the tiebreaker. The next person I see to vote any one of those other 3 drivers who are tied right now, that is a driver we will race as. So we can get this night of racing underway. Ashton G, welcome to the stream. What was the truck I wanted you to race before? Oh, man, I can't remember. I cannot remember. But welcome to the stream. You're new into the chat. You might be the one to break this tiebreaker. Unless we get like 2 people spamming it back and forth. Cerebral Assassin's got to vote yet, too. Cerebral Assassin has not voted in the chat. What's the vote? Well, you can vote for anybody, really. But specifically to try and break the tie right now, we have between Bobby Hamilton Jr., John Wood, and Chad Chafin. Chad Chafin in the Dickies truck. John Wood in the Pennzoil truck for Roush Fenway Racing. For Chad Chafin is in a... number 1, I don't know who owned the 18 truck back. I know it wasn't KBM at this time. I don't know who is the owner of this truck, to be completely honest. And I also don't know what manufacturer it is off the top of my head. I can't really see. It looks like it's a Chevy. Comparing the nose of this truck to the front of the rest of the Chevys, it looks like a Chevy. I mean, those ones are Chevys. I know John Wood's a Ford. Well, they all kind of look the same. I don't know. Now I look at it more, it almost looks like they're identical. And then Matt Crafton's also... Oh, man, we got another vote for Crafton. Now we got another tie. We have another tie. Kalen Crosby changes the vote to Bobby Hamilton. Oh, Bobby Hamilton's team in the 18. Gotcha. Wait, did you change your vote, or were you just stating that it was Bobby Hamilton's team? So now we got a four-way tie. We had a three-way tie before. Now we got a four-way tie. Actually, she's changing to Bobby Hamilton. I think we got to go Bobby Hamilton now. I do really like that Matt Crafton paint scheme, too, by the way. Somebody ran a throwback of that scheme this year, I thought. Panic Switch Army, welcome to the stream. Man, I missed this game. Well, even if Kaylin didn't change her vote, it looks like Bobby Hamilton did break the tie. So we will race as Bobby Hamilton Jr. Or sorry, Bobby Hamilton Sr. for this custom schedule season. Just telling you 18 was owned by Bobby. Gotcha. Yeah, I misinterpreted that at that point. But Bobby Hamilton still wins the vote, even with you not changing your pick. Panic Switch Army Knight voted for Jack Sprague. Even if the voting was still open, Jack Sprague would not have won the vote with your votes. So that did not change it. Thankfully, I would have felt bad if it did, but that was actually the only vote for Jack Sprague. So we will try to get Bobby Hamilton Sr. a champion. And here we go. Again, full races as usual. Legend difficulty. Under the lights at Daytona. Yeah, Matt Crafton, that's true. Matt Crafton, he's going to be in the Truck Series for many other games to come. So even though he didn't win the vote this time, he will. I can almost guarantee he will win the vote eventually. Unfortunately, Bobby Hamilton Sr. Passed. When was it? 2007 or 2008? We actually only have a couple seasons we can run as him. All right. I'm actually going to qualify for this race because I have not won at Daytona yet, and I really want to. So I don't know what to do setup-wise here, but we will qualify for this race. The Florida Dodge Dealers 250 at Daytona. It's weird to have. You guys can't see it, I guess, but my TV is like in the corner of my room, so I'm actually kind of looking at it at an angle, and hopefully that doesn't throw me off in the turns. I'm hoping. I'll probably get used to this setup after a couple streams. Last night I was just sitting on my bed, so I was parallel with the TV, but wanted to get that face cam out. This is probably the only way I was going to be able to do it. Bobby Hamilton Sr. getting up to speed. He'll have 2 laps to try and set the quick time for qualifying to start this custom schedule season. I'm excited. Always excited when you go to Daytona to start a season, whether it's a video game or real life. And of course, with this classic game, my personal favorite NASCAR video game of all time, we got our custom schedule season ready to go now for the Truck Series. We should have this done before next season actually starts. About 183 miles an hour back to the start-finish line as Bobby Hamilton Sr. races his way down into Turn 1. Maybe a little bit on the tight side. Might have put too much wedge into the truck. I just feel like it's hard to turn the car on corner entry. Just a bit. Of course, Daytona a lot bumpier back in 2004 compared to what it is now. So handling does make a difference. I mean, it makes a difference even on the super speedways. You still want to handle really well to be able to have your car handle well in the dirty air of the pack, especially when getting bump drafted. Don't want it to be too much on the edge. 6th on lap 1 for Bobby Hamilton Sr. He's got one more lap to try and have that first pole in the first race of the season. We'll see if I can end my losing streak at Daytona. I should say my winless streak at Daytona in this game. But even in... Man, when was the last time I won a Daytona 500? Now that I think about it. Was it the career mode? The first career mode race on NASCAR Heat 5? I think it was the last time I won the 500. Actually, we won back-to-back, didn't we? I believe we won back-to-back 500s. So outside of a career mode playthrough, I couldn't tell you when the last time I've won a season opener at Daytona. I really couldn't. Picked it up a little bit from lap 2 to lap 1, but unfortunately it was not fast enough for the pole. Bobby Hamilton Jr., I keep calling him Jr., Bobby Hamilton Sr. will qualify in the 4th position. It looks like the 117 truck of Schmidt will be on the pole for tonight's race. All right, here we go. Green flag is in the air. Let's get this custom schedule season off with a bang. Under the lights at Daytona. Schmidt leads the field to the green, the generated rookie driver on the pole. A little bit of a bump trap from Bobby Hamilton Jr. to the Bobby Hamilton Sr. to the back of Jake Bradley in the 86, and that shoots Bradley to the lead in turns 1 and 2. Hamilton going to pull down to the bottom lane in 4th place. Kevin Quinn pulling away. Hamilton's getting driven around now. Did not get up to speed very quickly. I almost wonder if maybe bump drafted a little too soon on the restart costing him those positions. So he loses 2 spots on the opening lap. Sits in line behind Bill Lester. Nothing but generated drivers inside the top 5 as we come to the conclusion of lap 1. 3 wide back in the pack out of the rearview mirror of Bobby Hamilton Sr. And lap 1 will be led by Jake Bradley after he started 2nd. The beloved pomegranate pimple, yes. Yeah, I believe that was the last time. It was our first career start. I do remember that. I mean, I'll never forget that moment on the channel. Our first career start winning the Daytona 500. I for whatever reason, I can't remember if we went back-to-back, though. I'm thinking we won in Season 2 also. But again, outside of the career mode, yeah, Daytona is kind of an Achilles heel for me for whatever reason. I don't know why. They always seem to come close and outside of the career mode and find ways to lose. And well, and career mode in NASCAR Heat 5, of course, and NASCAR 21 Ignition, the career mode not so hot on the super speedways. Oh, jeez. Hamilton's going to lose a spot there. He brushed the wall all on his own. Getting into turns 1 and 2, he's still stuck on the outside, trying to find a way back down to the bottom as he loses spots back to the 8th spot. Behind Casey Cook. He's definitely dealing with a tight car corner entry. I didn't loosen it up between the race and qualifying. Hamilton hops out of line looking to make a pass. Going to make 2 passes, it looks like, into turns 3 and 4 to jump from 8th back to 6th. Bill Lester on the inside lane trying to make a move. One car bounces off the wall behind Bobby Hamilton Sr. as this giant pack of 36 trucks races without any separation. Contact in the tri-oval. Bad block on top of the Ford truck of Bobby Hamilton Sr. Everybody's going to get through all right. Lester maybe got shuffled out of line now with Schmidt looking to get around him. Jake Bradley still leads. And now it's just a 6-car breakaway at the front of the field after the pack got stacked up. Bobby Hamilton Sr. with a gigantic run down the backstretch. Bill Lester looking for a block. He's below the yellow line. Gets really loose. Is able to hold on in front of Schmidt. For a brief moment at least. And then Schmidt's going to get right back around him. Casey Cook to the inside. It was a big save by Hamilton. He drove it in pretty flat into turn 3. Got blocked by Lester and he tried to make the pass underneath the yellow line. It didn't work. No out of bounds or black flag in this game for it, so I take advantage, at least with the older EA games, of trying to pass cars down there. Going to be able to get right back around Schmidt, but now the top 3 is slowly pulling away from this next 3-car group. And it looks like Schmidt bounced off the wall off the exit of turn 2, and Cook will clear him. Definitely Probably going to want to free the truck up during the first pit stop of the race. Oh, and contact from behind for Casey Cook, and he nearly goes around off turn 4. Into the left rear of Bobby Hamilton Sr. and nearly turned him around. Cook gets tight off the exit of the corner. Either that or he's trying to aggressively side draft Bobby Hamilton. And now Hamilton's got nobody to draft with. Plus the loss of momentum. You see the smoke off the exit of turn 4 off in the distance. Look at how far back that stacked the pack up on the upper right-hand corner of the screen when you look at the track map. And meanwhile, at the front of the field, Bill Lester has just taken the lead for the first time. So you got just one huge blob of trucks from really 5th back through 36th. Top 4 very much separated from that. All it takes is one caution to bunch this field back up again. That was a massive stack up from Cook. And the problem is, for Bobby Hamilton, is he is losing some valuable time. He's losing about a tenth of a second every couple seconds. No drafting help. I'm sure we will see a caution or maybe even a couple of them by the end of this race here today. We may see some caution-free races throughout the course of the season, but I doubt that this is going to be one of them. Hamilton's lost about a second over the last lap. Just going to have to kind of ride it out and hope for a caution. I'm not sure exactly what the pit window looks like. Looks like we got one car down the back straightaway who is very slow, and we likely have our first engine failure of the race. Luckily, he was able to hop out of line without getting ran over. I guess while we're by ourselves, we'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today when we get back to the start-finish line. Two big ones, and Keegan avoids both of them. Well, near big ones. No cautions actually waved. It stacked the pack up, but it didn't cause an actual wreck, luckily. Definitely trying to stay out of harm's way early. The only good thing with this is if a caution did come out to bunch the field back together, we know that Bobby Hamilton wouldn't get caught up in it. And you can see his lap time, that last lap was a 48.999, almost a full second, about a little over 9/10 of a second slower than his fastest lap of the race when he was in the draft those first 5 to 6 laps before the top 3 had pulled away and he had no drafting help behind him anymore. And how quickly he goes from 1 second off the race lead to about 5.7 seconds off the race lead in just a matter of about 4 laps. I did see Brandon Brown did secure his full sponsorship for next season this year. That's great to see. Heard he was having a hard time trying to find sponsorship for this season. The whole let's go Brandon stuff going on. This truck could definitely be a little bit more on the free side. surprised NASCAR allowed it. I mean, it does have his name in it. I get what you're saying, though, considering how it, technically started. Surprised that they would allow it. Is there any sponsors that NASCAR has completely shut down? They're like, no, you're not sponsoring in this sport. I don't know if it's ever come to that. Because there's been some shady sponsors in the past. Slapshoes has done numerous videos on that topic before. But I don't know if there's ever been one where NASCAR is just like, no, we want no part of your business and ours. Usually you welcome in with open arms because they're giving you money. And money usually talks. No matter what you're in. Business-wise. Well, the good news is that Giant Pack is slowly catching Bobby Hamilton Sr., so he'll have somebody to draft with, and you would think a Giant Pack would be faster than just 3 trucks. Can they make up probably a little bit over 9 seconds by the time Hamilton gets ran down? Is going to be very interesting to see. I think Marlboro, that would make sense. I think, well, they were in the sport, and I think they banned them. Was that in NASCAR, though? I know IndyCar and F1 did. I don't remember any Marlboro paint schemes off the top of my head in NASCAR. Other motorsports. Maybe they did because Winston was the title sponsor, though, too. Well, that wouldn't make any sense, though, because Busch was the title sponsor for the Busch Series for a long time. But Budweiser still sponsored, at least in the Cup Series, and Coors Light. They weren't banning other beer companies. Bobby Hamilton going to go to the outside. Trying to be the lead truck in this group. So 10 seconds off race leader Bill Lester. Crypto coin? I haven't looked into it, so I really don't know. All I read was I was actually out of town earlier in the day. All I read was that he had secured sponsorship for next season. That was good enough for me to say, well, good job, Brandon. I'm glad he deserves it. Bobby Hamilton's starting to fall back, 7th place now. Hopping in line behind Brandon Witt. Got 3 trucks ahead of him. We'll see if, again, they could run down the leaders. They got plenty of time to be able to do it. Hamilton trying to make some drafting partners, perhaps. Obviously, in the first race of the year, you don't know who the championship contenders are going to be, so you really are willing to work with anybody to try and get this win at Daytona. Hamilton just looking to stick behind Brandon Witt right now. He's not willing to try and pull out a line and pass him. And the first 4 trucks right here in this group are actually starting to pull away from everybody behind him. Maybe they got some speed for the top 3 who are actually pretty separated apart, at least according to the track map. Looks like they've gained about 2 to 3 tenths of a second in 1 lap. Brandon Witt pulling out of line, trying to make a pass on Wesley Schmidt. Schmidt going to be able to block him into the tri-oval. So again, if these guys could go 50 laps on fuel, which you wouldn't think would be the case in the Truck Series, but I do know the Truck Series has a bigger fuel tank in this game compared to the Busch and the Cup Series, which isn't like real life, but that is the case in this game, maybe it is possible that they could make it on just one pit stop today, split the race in half potentially. And if that is the case, when do you pit? When will be the strategy? You pit right at the halfway mark? I'm sure you're going to see guys pit right as soon as that window opens if it is maybe closer to the 60 lap mark or so. It'll be interesting. Brandon Witt again to the inside of Wesley Schmidt. Hamilton fell back just a bit until they got side by side with one another. Hamilton's coming in pretty hot. Makes a little bit of contact with Schmidt. Accidental, of course. Hamilton again trying to draft up behind Witt. Hamilton's just way too tight on corner entry. That's why he made contact with Schmidt in turn one. I think Brandon Witt and Bobby Hamilton Sr. could definitely make a pretty good tag team in trying to run those leaders down. It's under 10 seconds. They've gained a half a second total in about 2.5 to 3 laps. So they are, again, about 0.2 of a second a lap, roughly, maybe a little less than that. Wesley Schmidt starting to lose even the 4-truck pack, now making it a 3-truck pack. Who's excited for the clash? I am. Cautiously optimistic, but, I mean, who isn't excited for NASCAR to come back? Brandon Witt's looking fast. He won at Daytona in our 2004 Truck Series season. It's our only super speedway race we've ever had in the Truck Series in this game on the channel. So we'll see if Witt can double down and winning the season opener 2 seasons in a row. Dominated that race by my recollection, and that could be the driver Bobby Hamilton would want to draft with. Trying to stay in contention is just a hard part in these full races on the super speedways. So easy to lose a draft, as you saw there. Even though Hamilton was in 4th, he couldn't keep up with the top 3. He was able to keep up with these 2 drivers in front of him, though. And they seem to be a little quicker with the top 3 separating themselves. Will Luster, I think, is okay with it for right now, considering he's got a comfortable lead in that Daytona. Can't really say that all too often. Back to the far chase cam for now. And we will be having the live commentary for that Busch Clash, the heat races included. Sunday, February 6th will be the first live stream for the live commentary of actual NASCAR races in 2022. First of many. Of course, we did quite a few last season. Didn't do too many at the very end of the year just because I was traveling a lot and I didn't watch a lot of races on TV too often. So I will space it out a lot better next season. We will start off with the Busch Clash in February. Two of the most viewed streams on the channel have been the last 2 live race commentaries we did for the Xfinity Series Championship and the Talladega Cup Series race. So I can't wait to interact with you guys as the race is going on and try to get my best commentary out there during the real races. Always exciting. You never know what's going to happen with the video game races just as much as real life. The difference is at least with this, I'm in somewhat control. I'm in no control of commentating the NASCAR races, so that is as good as it gets. As authentic as it gets. A little under 9 seconds back at the start-finish line. So these guys try to close. They migrated to the outside. So they're giving up in the corners. But it should carry a little bit more straightaway speed off the exit. Hamilton's just got to be careful getting into the corner, running the top side, considering the fact that he's got a tighter race truck. Being in traffic's not going to help that. Even at Daytona. Crazy Hamilton qualified fourth, but he has not been further up in the running order than that in this race so far. And this group of three has caught another truck, and we'll see if they can organizingly so get around him. They're carrying a lot faster speed. Yes, rest in peace to Bob Keselowski as well. I've lost a couple of big sports figures over the last week. Very unfortunate. Hamilton back up to fifth. These three trucks just blew right around him, which I kind of expected considering they were in the draft and he was not. Now that driver's going to try to latch onto these guys. I'm not sure who that is. It's not Jake Bradley. In the first handful of laps in the race. Wilson wasn't worried about blocking him. He was going to stay on the outside in the draft. Pull him down the back straightaway a bit. Well, first ally of the season for Bobby Hamilton Sr. is Brandon Witt, the 38. Good to see. Just trying to be patient. Hamilton's ran a clean race on his own. He hasn't made a mistake. There's been a couple trucks around him with one bad block and then one tight moment for a car underneath him, but Hamilton himself has been very clean in this one. He hasn't been aggressive with trying to make a pass, really. Once he tried to do it in turn 3 and then thought better of it. Down the back straightaway, pulls out a line, maybe trying to hop up to second place in this little drafting pack. And he'll draft with Troy Perry in the 116, and just like that, Hamilton will make the pass for fourth place on Brandon Witt to become the second truck in this group. And we haven't gotten the sign that we're halfway out of gas yet. We're at lap 28, so that tells me it is a one-stop race today. We haven't seen anybody make a stop yet. Fields are getting so spaced apart now, you're almost at risk of not being able to stay on the lead lap. We don't know exactly what the tire fall-off is yet. No practice for this race. It's hopped right into qualifying. Brandon Witt looking to the inside of Troy Perry. Well, Perry leads this group. One car has blown an engine on the inside of the racetrack. Couldn't tell who it was. It wasn't any one of the cars that are ahead of Jake Bradley and Bill Lester running 1-2. Lester's holding his own pretty well, though. DB Forever 85, open to the stream, and there it is, halfway on fuel at lap 30. So the window will open with about 60 laps to go, which would be in about 10 more laps. The fuel window will be open to the end of the race, so it is a one-stopper here tonight at Daytona for the Truck Series. The Craftsman Truck Series. Yep, you saw the car jump up the track a little bit into turn 3 again. That's going to cost Bobby Hamilton a spot to Brandon Witt. He shouldn't lose the draft with Witt. Should be able to hang on. Definitely going to have to make that adjustment change, though. Witt to the inside of Perry now for position. And Brandon Witt's up to third place. I think he's a little bit faster than Troy Perry. Hamilton right back to fourth place again. It'll be Brandon Witt, though, who he will follow now. If you could stay on the lead lap and make your first pit stop, obviously the risk, the longer we run green at Daytona, of having a caution is more prone to happen. We all know that. That might be the strategy to be able to get that track position at the front of the field. It has not been easy to pass in this race today. I wouldn't rely on restarting mid-pack, staying out waiting for the caution to happen to pit once that window opens up in about 8 more laps. I think Keselowski will definitely make Roush better. It's tough to tell if they're going to really compete for many wins still, at least year one. I'm sure down the road they might, but for year one, do they both make the playoffs? On points, Buescher had a pretty good season for the first half. He kind of fell off in the second half, and that's why he fell out of contention to try and point his way into the playoffs. He was in the top 13 to 14 points in the regular season for about the first dozen races or so. Oreo dipped orange juice. Oh my goodness, that sounds disgusting. Oreo dipped mayonnaise? That's even worse. Does it make me want to throw up? Just thinking about that concoction. There's Jake Bradley. Second place. I think Hamilton's committed with staying with Brandon Witt as they catch Bradley in the tri-oval heading down into turn 1 now. I'm sure they're going to try to make the pass on him as quickly as they possibly can. Witt's going to pull out a line down the backstretch. Into turn 3, a little bit of a block by Bradley as he tries to lead this pack. I think he might be in danger of losing these two if he's not able to block and stay in front of him. So he's going to block for all it's worth. Even though we still have 65 laps to go. Witt nearly gets to the inside in the tri-oval, but again, it's Bradley with the block. You can definitely tell Bradley has slowed the momentum down of both the 38 and the Ford trucks. Witt to the outside. Wasn't able to pass him on the bottom, so he'll go to the top. Hamilton's going to go with him. Willing to stay with his ally, Witt. Chad Chafin was up here. We'd have a teammate to work with. Oh, big block by Bradley. It looked like he about got turned off the front bumper of the 38 of Witt. Looked like he was a bit sideways there. I don't know if he was maybe just second-guessing himself at the last second and went through with it anyway. Witt's going to have to find a way around Bradley. Fifth place is even starting to catch up. They're still slowly catching Lester, but not as quickly as they were when it was just Witt and Hamilton. The right side tire's in the yellow now for Bobby Hamilton Sr. Big push from Hamilton. Trying to bump draft Witt and get him to the inside as they work together. It's not going to work. Bradley threw another great block. Witt looking low. Middle of turns 3 and 4. Will he get to the inside of Bradley? Very close. Not going to do it. Now the left front's starting to wear out quite a bit. Yeah, it's definitely going to have to be a 4-tire stop. I just think right sides is not going to be enough. I don't think those left sides are going to make it to the end of the race. Already in the yellow at lap 39, so you're going to have to wait this out quite a ways into the run. I don't think you can pit right when the window opens and expect your tires to make it to the end of the race. Well, then again, I feel like they could go at least 60 laps. They can go a full fuel run, so never mind. I guess he should be able to go. Well, you could short pit, but you would still have to take 4 tires, is what I meant to say. So you're definitely going to have to take 4 tires because the left sides are not going to last from start to finish in this race on this bumpy Daytona surface. Well, Hamilton's going to try the bottom. Slingshots right around Brandon Witt. Now Witt's going to hop to the bottom to work with Bobby Hamilton Sr. Sr. clears Bradley up the exit of 2, but he puts it in the wall with the tight race truck. And he's going to give the spot right back up to Witt. Hamilton trying to pick Witt up in the draft. He's not able to do it. And Jake Bradley will get back by as well. Now Hamilton's going to have to draft behind Bradley. Going to try to slingshot back around Bradley as quickly as he can. Looks to the inside. Hugging the yellow line down the front stretch into turn 1. Bradley trying to side draft Hamilton back to 3rd. At least these two were able to finally get around him. Took Hamilton getting up there and making a minor mistake to lose those spots back, but then he got one of them. And now he's with the guy he has been drafting with pretty much all night, Brandon Witt, as both these two are going to try to surge to the front for the first time today. The 2 drivers in the pits right now, by the way, as well, were seemingly out of the race as Hamilton bounces off the wall again. Off the exit of turn 4. Worn out tires on this bumpy Daytona surface, the tighter conditions even for his truck coming into the race. There's a problem in qualifying, even though he qualified 4th, but that might have been the difference in him qualifying 1st to qualifying 4th. Maybe he wouldn't be in this situation if he had track position. Bump draft to the back of the 38. He's trying to work with him. 6 seconds off the lead. I mean, it was 10.4, so they are making up ground slowly but surely. Well, the share drafting is allowing my skill points to go up even though I'm not leading, so that's nice. A lot more paint schemes. 5.8 seconds off the lead. To turn one this time, only 2 trucks out of the race. Hamilton pushes tight in the wall now in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That might be problemsome. I think he's in danger of losing Brandon Witt after that hit into the wall. I mean, the idea is to stay full throttle at Daytona. When your racetrack's too tight to sail it off into the corner full throttle, that becomes an issue. And he has lost Brandon Witt. He's going to have to let Jake Bradley. It's actually Troy Perry in the 116, so Bradley's back to 5th. But Hamilton had to let Troy Perry through so he could draft behind him because he lost Hamilton after putting it into the wall into turn 1. He drafts back with that 116 truck. Is Perry going to be quick enough to get to Brandon Witt? Witt's got a fast racetrack. Going to the outside is not going to help, especially with Hamilton being really tight. He wants to run the bottom as much as he can. The truck's coming out of the pit lane down on the bottom of the racetrack. Still caution free. We're almost halfway home. Truck Series races are shorter. We're used to the Modified Series where every race is caution free. It will not be like that in the Premier Series. Bump draft to the back of the 116 truck that time for Hamilton. Big run into the trial for Hamilton to the inside of Troy Perry. Will he be able to clear him? Yes, he will. And he's right back behind the back bumper, the 38 now of Brandon Witt. They're going to try to cling on to the Ford truck of Bobby Hamilton. Not a lot of action by Daytona standards so far. Middle of green flag pit stop, some drivers short pitting. Oh, and now Bradley bounces off the walls. He gets tight off the exit of turn 4. That might cost him a chance to stay with Witt and Hamilton. 5.6 seconds is the difference between first and second place. It's going to be interesting. It's going to come down to this pit stop. Bill Lester's got a bad fast truck. The fact that he's able to hang on as well as he has out there. It's a good thing he hasn't caught lap traffic to draft with because I feel like that would only make it worse. Field's not that spaced apart yet. And if it does go caution free, again, it is going to be very interesting. This last lap for Bobby Hamilton, 47.795. It's about a little over a tenth and a half slower than his fastest lap of the race. But about 0.4 of a second quicker that last lap was Hamilton versus race leader Bill Lester. So maybe on older tires, Lester not as good at single car speed. Maybe he's having to lift a little bit more in the corners. Could be dealing with a tight condition himself, perhaps. Though he doesn't have any dirty air. Maybe it's more of a loose condition through the bumps. It's running the bottom a lot more than what he was earlier in the run as well. Maybe he's not able to run the top with older tires. How many wins do I think Bubba will get in 2022? Well, he exceeded my expectations this year getting 1, and I know he won a range short race at Talladega, but that's 1 more than what I thought he was going to get going into the season. I didn't have high hopes for it with it being the first year with a new team. I said that from the very beginning, but he was able to get a win. It's still tough to say if he's going to make the playoffs next year. And I think he may have to win a race in the regular season to be able to do that. And the only reason I say that is because of how strong the playoff field is. I mean, the top 16 teams, at least based off of last season, they all pretty much deserve to be there. Except for you can maybe argue Eric Almirola. But considering it's Stewart-Haas Racing, you know they're going to have most years, last year was a down year for sure for him. But before that, most years that they're going to have really good equipment. So you got those 4 cars that are all going to be competing. Briscoe's going to be in his second year. I'm sure he's going to be better than what he was his rookie season. How much better will he be? Will he be playoff worthy? Trackhouse is probably going to be a little better with Daniel Suarez. Obviously, Ross Chastain performed very, very well in the playoffs last year. He's someone to look out for to maybe steal a playoff spot that wasn't in it this year. It's definitely very interesting. Bill Lester coming into the pits right now. So is Brandon Witt. Hamilton's going to pit at the last second. He's going to lock the tires up. 70 miles per hour is the speed limit. Has to make sure he does not speed. He did not. So he'll try to make up a little bit of time. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for Bobby Hamilton Sr. And no adjustments, and they need a clean stop. So leaders are pitting at about the halfway mark. The top 3 all pit on the same lap. Hamilton didn't want to stay out there any longer than Bill Lester. And plus his drafting partner of Brandon Witt was coming into the pit, so he had to make that late decision at the last second. Clean stop for Bobby Hamilton Sr. That is what they needed. That is exactly what this 4 team needed. Now he's going to have to get up to speed pretty quickly. And where will he cycle out will be the next question. Jake Bradley stayed out an extra lap. Travis Quaffle will stay out a lap and lead his first lap of the day, so that's to receive 5 bonus points for him. I don't know what's going on there in the chat. We need to get rid of... That's like the second time I think we've seen that pop up. Disgusting. It's supposed to be family friendly. I don't think that's much of a hot take, though, considering the fact that Kurt Busch is the champion. He's been winning 1 race a year with Chip Ganassi consistently running pretty well also. So Hamilton cycle out ahead of the 38 truck. He's going to let Witt go so he can draft with him. And Troy Perry actually had a fast pit stop because he was a little bit behind Hamilton, and Whitney came out right with him. He actually was ahead of Witt. Witt must have had a slow stop, losing a spot there under green. But how fast was Bill Lester stop? We don't know exactly where Bill Lester is at on the racetrack. We know Travis Quaffle's out there and is leading laps for the first time in this race. Therefore, the first time all season. We have not seen Witt or Hamilton lead yet, so that's pretty much for Quaffle's sake that he thinks it's going to go caution-free. So he doesn't think he's going to have a chance to go up there and compete for the win, so he's going to get his lap sled now on older tires, give up a little bit of that time. At least 6 more cars still have to pit. Yes, report that bot. Troy Perry just about muscled right around Bobby Hamilton. I think he's going to clear him. He did. Troy Perry up to 3rd. Quaffle stays out again. They could go to about lap 60. So Quaffle might just try to stay out as long as he can. He's not going to get the most laps. Lester's, in my opinion, far and away led the most laps today. Hamilton to the outside of Troy Perry to make it past the hard way down the backstretch with really no drafting help. but he makes it work. Nearly gets underneath the 38 as well. I wonder if that's Lester. This pack of cars is closing in on. I don't think it is. Oh, and Witt nearly gets tagged. He did get tagged. That's Matt Crafton in the 6, who slowed everybody up. What a save in the tri-oval from Brandon Witt. Matt Crafton in the way, slowing up Bobby Hamilton Sr. and Brandon Witt. And now no drafting help for Sr. once again. Seconds behind Bill Lester. Lester seems to have a lap car he's working with as well. And that is going to cost the 4 and the 38 a lot of time. I think Lester had a really fast stop, too. Travis Quaffle finally in the pits. And Lester is in the lead. He's got 7.4 seconds over Bobby Hamilton Sr., who is about to take over second. There's Quaffle coming out of the pit lane. That is unbelievable, and Hamilton's in desperate need of a caution if he's going to want a shot to win this race. Will we see a yellow tonight at Daytona, or will we go caution-free in the first race of the season? They cut that lead down to about 4 seconds coming into the pits. It was probably just under 7 seconds if it wasn't for Crafton stacking them up. Hamilton wouldn't have gotten into the back of Brandon Witt in a bad spot there in the middle of the tri-oval, and he wouldn't have lost as much time. I think Travis Quaffle might be in 3rd place now. It's tough to tell for sure, but if he was the one that cycled up to 3rd, maybe he's even faster than Witt. But 9 seconds is a lot of time to try and make up in these final 42 laps, and I just don't know if that's enough time. We know how fast Lester is on the fresher tires, too. Hamilton's running the high side by himself. He's really, really hoping for some help. You would think you would want to try to maybe hold on to 2nd place. Crafton must have blew an engine and came back out on the racetrack. He must have been one of the drivers that blew an engine, because he is down a cylinder, and at Daytona, that is dangerous. And you're still out on the racing surface. And that is not Travis Quaffle. That is Troy Perry in 3rd. Perry back to 2nd place. Hamilton going to let him go. Hamilton's been faster as the push car today. He's got to draft with someone if he's going to want a shot. Quaffle is in the yellow and black car, the Linex paint scheme back behind. One driver's blowing an engine on the inside of the racetrack. It's tough to tell who that was. It looked like it might have been Wesley Schmidt, the 117, who qualified on the pole. No guarantees. And Hamilton's back to about 10.2 seconds off the lead by the time he files in line behind Troy Perry. Oh, that's a bold take right there. Stuart Haas having more wins than Hendrick next year. Well, the best thing here is that Crafton slows down Bill Lester. The problem is he's going to slow these guys down again next time they catch him as well. Well, can the generated rookie driver maybe potentially pull off the upset at his first career start in the Truck Series at Daytona? He's up to 2nd place. He qualified top 4. Hamilton just put it in the wall again off turn 4. He didn't make any adjustments to the car, which I just kind of realized after we hit the wall. So those tight conditions Bobby Hamilton Sr. was dealing with earlier, well, they have stayed, and he's going to have to go another 50 laps here on these tires, just like he did in the first run with this same setup to the end. Down the back straightaway, Hamilton's going to try to buck draft Troy Perry, trying to see if that's going to help these guys out anymore and try to pick up a little bit more time. Hamilton's just trying to think of something new. It's risky to bump draft in this game, especially Daytona being as bumpy as it is. A lot more unstable. If there's ever a time to try something different, now's the time, because I don't think you can bank on there being a caution like you could earlier in the race. With less than 40 laps to go at the start-finish line, that time by. These guys are running out of chances to try and win this race. Hamilton's got to make sure that he hits Perry square. Oh, and he did not hit him square. Oh, they're in the wall. Perry goes around hard. Up on his rear wheels. That did not work whatsoever. Caution's out for the first time tonight. Hard crash for second place, Troy Perry. He just got turned off the front bumper of the 4. Hamilton way too aggressive with the bump drafting down the backstretch heading into turn 3. He hit him pretty square, but man, Perry went for a ride on that hit. No safety barrier into that concrete wall on the outside. I think Hamilton might have a rival now, unfortunately, and I believe Perry gets to keep his position. So the majority of the cars are on the lead lap. Craftsman will be on the inside of the racetrack. The lone lap car. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. And Perry's still allies with the Ford truck right now. Matt Craftsman on the inside. We know he's not going to take off very well. Hamilton gets a great launch, takes it 3 wide for the lead, and he's all clear into turn 1. That was not intentional to turn Perry. You hate to see that happen, but it has maybe worked out for Bobby Hamilton Sr., and not just him, though. This brings the rest of the field back into it. And speaking of a great restart, look at Brandon Witt, who passes about 3 or 4 cars on the inside of the racetrack, and he's underneath Bill Lester now with 35 laps to go. 3 wide for third place. This is getting nuts. We mentioned all it was going to take was 1 caution to stack this thing back up, and boy, did we get it. As Bobby Hamilton Sr. will lead his first lap of the night with 34 laps to go in the Florida Dodge Dealers 250. They are 3 wide back there, and it's going to get crazy. Quaffle for the lead. Off turn 2, he's got it. Great pit stop by him. He was able to lead some laps before the caution as well. Big block down into turn 3. Hamilton gets loose, trying to stay underneath the 24. Couldn't do it. Up the track he goes now off the exit of the corner. Jake Bradley back to second. Perry after the spin is back to third place. Hamilton falls back to 5th. So Hamilton was able to lead 1 lap. That was it. Enough for 5 bonus points at least, no matter what happens to the end. Well, the problem is that guaranteed second to third place finish could be out the window as well for Hamilton, so it could cost him just as much as what it may have helped him. Probably would have been more beneficial to just see if they could have caught the race leader, Lester. Lester got shuffled out of line on the restart. He is nowhere to be found right now inside the top 5. Hamilton might have some damage from that accident as well. Would not be surprised. Jack Sprague's in the mix for the first time now. Former champion of the Craftsman Truck Series. Nearly made a pass on punching himself in this Truck Series. Bobby Hamilton Sr. That 24 truck is scooting away. I think Hamilton hurt the nose of the racetrack. I don't think he's got as much power as he did before. Have to make up some time somehow. Drafts with Jack Sprague down the back stretch in 6th. Craftsman really stacked up that field on the restart from probably about 8th or 9th on back. Just falling away for the rest of these leaders. Hamilton just to the inside of Sprague. Sprague tried to squeeze him into the tri-oval. Sprague still stuck on the outside. Hamilton to the inside of Bradley now for fourth. Brandon Witt going to go with his buddy Hamilton. Oh, almost takes it 3 wide to the inside. Hamilton nearly squeezes the 16 truck into the wall, giving just enough room. Bradley jumps down to the bottom. That's a chance. Hamilton to try and draft. Well, this is the only series that gets green-white checkers in this game. Fair warning if we did see another yellow. And the field will catch Matt Crafton a couple more times in this one, too. That could stack things up as well. So although the 24 truck is scooting away for the moment, we'll have to see if that's going to continue. Most of the pack is jammed underneath one another. Brandon Witt, who may have the fastest truck in the field, has not even led yet in this one. It's been as high as second multiple times. That's been about it. Hamilton, oh, big push to Bradley. Bradley threw a big block down the back straightaway. Bradley going to go maybe a bit wide that time. Very Wilder. I haven't seen him all day today either. He's running in third place. A lot of generated trucks up in the front of the field right now. All looking to pull off an upset. Daytona is a place where upsets can happen, and we've seen it plenty of times in the Truck Series alone. Hamilton to the inside of Bradley. He'll make the pass. Draft behind Barry Wilder now. Again, for myself, I've never won at Daytona in a points-paying race in this game. We're 0 for 5. Trying not to go 0 for 6 here tonight. I don't want to wait till the championship to try and get it done either. That's where the pressure is really going to be on at the end of the season. Big run into turn 1. Oh, Wilder went to the outside. That freed up the bottom for Hamilton to jump to third. He's got a massive run behind Troy Perry. Gives him a huge shot off the exit of turn 2. Hamilton put himself in the wall. Perry jumps out of line, but Hamilton is going to go with Quaffle. It cuts to the inside. He didn't have the... Oh, and around goes Hamilton. What a save. Oh, he nearly had it saved. Backs into traffic. And we have about a 3 or 4 truck pile up into turn 3. Barry Wilder caught a big piece of the right rear of Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton thought he had Troy Perry clear down the backstretch. He was trying to make an inside-out move and try to take the lead away from the 24 truck after having just a gigantic run, and he wasn't able to do it. Big crash for Bobby Hamilton, our second caution of the race now, with less than 30 laps to go. That rear bumper is absolutely destroyed on the 4. It looked like he about had it saved until he got clipped by Wilder. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. Hamilton, again, gets at least a good jump. We know his damage is going to hold him up. But boy, does he have the restart. Like an extra gear or something. Jumps it again. This is the only lap he led in the race so far, was off the last restart. ESPN saying since he's going to be banned. Hey, I mean, they might. You never know. You play to win the game. Waffle to the inside. Hamilton trying to pinch him. Big block. Hamilton holds on to the lead. Now back to the top. 23 laps to go at Daytona. The right side of Hamilton's truck is absolutely destroyed after that crash. Oh, man, he makes more contact. Let's slow him up down the backstretch. Very Wilder going to try to lead his first lap of the race, potentially. And he will. 3 wide middle is Hamilton. Hamilton back to third. Quaff will try to go for the lead as Wilder will get 5 bonus points leading his first lap of the night. Everybody under a blanket trying to win the Daytona truck race to start this custom schedule 2004 season. Barry Wilder trying to pull off the upset. And Hamilton with a destroyed race truck after that second caution. Being involved in it. And accidentally turning Troy Perry already in this one as well. Big block by Barry Wilder. Now he is going above and beyond to try and hold on to the race lead. Can't blame him. Could be a career-making day for Wilder. Hamilton tight off turn 4. He was tight even before the damage, maybe even worse so now. 21 laps to go. He's got to run. Into turn 1. He is getting pinched off big time. And they are side by side for the race lead. Trying to go up and side draft. Quaffle almost snuck in the back door on the outside. He wasn't able to get there. Wilder is continuing to hold on strong. To the bottom. Just enough of a door open. Oh, he clips him into the wall. Goes Wilder. 3 wide to the inside. Goes the 124. That's Doug Thompson. Where'd he come from? 20 to go. He leads at Daytona for the first time tonight. And Quaffle remains in third as Wilder falls back to fourth. Hamilton trying to pull closer to Thompson in the draft, but his racetrack is too heavily damaged, and he's so slow, and the only thing keeping him in it is the draft. Keeps pulling out to the bottom, but he just can't complete a pass. Hasn't had enough help. He's got another big run down the backstretch into turn 3. Nowhere to go with it. Trying to keep it off the wall. Did a great job of doing so. Laps are counting down quick. Thompson. Bad block by Thompson. Hamilton sideways. And he saves it and hangs on, and he'll take the lead. That time it was all Thompson's fault. He tried to squeeze Bobby Hamilton Sr. below the yellow line. Hamilton refused to go down there. And Thompson just kept coming down right on top of the Ford truck. Hamilton had a big lead, though, and here comes the pack. Led by Wilder in the 108. With Travis Quaffle behind him. This might be a demolition derby to the end of the race. Everyone wants to win at Daytona. Here comes Witt to the high side. Hamilton gets tight up 4. He's in the wall again. He is struggling mightily with the race truck. And just trying to hang on for dear life. Quaffle for the lead. And it was actually Wilder who led that last lap. Quaffle to the front. He looked dominant when he took the lead before that last caution came out. Does anybody have anything for him? Hamilton trying to pull the bottom line as best as he can with the damage. It's going to be tough. Trying to get to Barry Wilder. Quaffle's pulling away from Wilder off turn 4. One truck in the wall out of the rear view. Stacking up some other trucks as they're 3x3. Back in the pack a little bit more. Everybody under a blanket still following that second caution. Hamilton has drafted back up to Wilder. He almost lost him, but not quite. But now can they run down the 24 truck of Travis Quaffle in the final 17 laps? They're not that far behind, only half a second. Hamilton going to be very aggressive. Hasn't really worked out that way today when he has been very aggressive. Little bump trap down the back straightaway with Wilder. Wilder hangs on to it. Troy Perry could not earlier. Wilder hung on. Big run into the tri-oval. Hopefully that move wasn't too soon. Hamilton to second. Is he close enough to draft off of Travis Kvapil? I think the move was a little bit too soon. He's going to have to let Wilder go on the outside once again. I believe that's Jack Sprague back in fourth place who's getting a run. Hamilton slips back in line in third. That costed Wilder and Hamilton a bit of time. Wilder holding up the outside, though, and here comes Jack Sprague on the bottom. Hamilton just going to hold his line on the top. Sprague is up a spot. Wilder to try and block Sprague. Successfully does it in the tri-oval. 15 to go at Daytona. Now Sprague's to the bottom of Wilder. Hamilton going to draft with Jack Sprague. Sprague's still there. He just can't get around him. I don't think the fourth truck's enough to help him out. This bottom lane's going to need more help. They're going to get around Wilder. Kvapil's pulling away. 1.6 seconds ahead. Wilder's slowing this pack down. Hamilton was when he was in front of it, too. They're coming up on Matt Craftsman in the 6th, potentially the last time. Although it might not be. Well, this is not a good spot to be in. 3 wide middle. In this game at Daytona with a tight, damaged race truck for Bobby Hamilton. He hangs on. He drops back down to the bottom. He is losing spots late. It's Billy Wilson who got by on the inside. Ryan Carter got by on the top as well. Hamilton back to 6th. Trying to stay in the draft desperately. Travis Kvapil stuck behind Matt Craftsman just a bit. Leads down to about 1.5 seconds again. A couple other trucks getting held up behind Matt Craftsman as well. Down to the inside. Couple spots gained for Hamilton. From 6th to 4th down the backstretch. 1.3 seconds off the lead all of a sudden. He was 2.3 back at the start of the lap. That was Billy Wilson and Ryan Carter, 2 generated drivers running 2nd and 3rd. As high as they've been in the running order all night long. Any one of these guys have a chance to run down Travis Kvapil. Carter trying to get to the inside of Billy Wilson. Sprague wasn't able to. Hamilton to the bottom. Trying to make a move on his own. Take matters into his own hands. Oh, he tags. Oh, man, 3 wide. That contact allowed Sprague to get to the bottom now. Oh, Sprague with a big block. Knocked the 4th truck sideways, and there's still 3 wide in the tri-oval. They made it out alive. At least for now. Hamilton lost a lot of momentum with all that contact, though. That's behind Ryan Carter. Sprague trying to get around Wilson. 10 laps to go at Daytona. Oh, Carter gets tagged in the left rear by Hamilton. Hamilton up another spot. I think he checked up because Sprague went up the track or something there and gave Hamilton a big run. Carter was able to hop in line, only losing just the one position. Hamilton to the inside, heading down into turn 3. He's going to be the one down to draft behind Billy Wilson in the 82 truck. Hamilton to third. He's got Sprague cleared. Sprague hits the wall off turn 4, getting tight. Caution's out with 10 laps to go. Caution is out at Daytona, our third of the race. And things have just gotten a whole lot more interesting. One car around off the exit of turn 4 all on his own. That was the 157 truck. Right in front of Schmidt and the 117. Schmidt might have gotten into the back of him. It was hard to tell from that angle. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a wild finish to the checker. Going to have a typical Daytona finish. By Truck Series standards, we may. Especially with that caution. No lap cars will be in the way this time. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. Hamilton's been strong the first lap of the restart. He jumps to the inside of Billy Wilson. Wilson tried to block, but it wasn't enough. Hamilton's going to go for the lead. Into turn 1, and he's got it. He's clear. He'll pull up in front of Travis Quaffle in the 24. As they're 3 wide for third place, Jack Sprague's going to try to go up the middle. And Quaffle trying to block all 3 lanes. There's contact off turn 2 between Sprague and Wilson. Sprague still stuck in the middle. Quaffle trying to find his way around Hamilton. That was the caution Hamilton needed. He's led only 2 laps all night long, and he's about to lead back to the line with 5 to go. And he's having to block for dear life with a wrecked race car after that second caution was involved in a Ford truck accident. Oh, big block. Nearly turned himself off the front bumper of Quaffle. That stacked Quaffle up and Sprague's up to second. Will they make it back to the checker without another wreck? They haven't had the big one yet. Sprague to the outside for the lead. He's got it. No chance for Hamilton to get around him there. Hamilton trying to block Quaffle to at least hold on to second. Big run. Nowhere to go with it. Jack Sprague leads at Daytona. 4 laps to go this time by. 2 by 2, 3 wide further back off the exit of turn 4. There are 32 trucks at least that are on the lead lap, all trying to win this race. Look at how low Sprague goes to try and block Bobby Hamilton into turn 1. Hamilton lost a bit of momentum, though, in the corners with this tight truck. The problem is there's a giant pack of trucks, and Sprague was getting away. So another big run down the back straightaway coming for Bobby Hamilton Sr. Sprague going to hold that bottom lane. He's going to try to make Hamilton pass him on the outside. This race will have 1 attempt at a green-white checker finish if we do get a late caution. And no cautions come out in the final lap in this game. Into the tri-oval. Again, a block by Sprague. 3 to go. Next opportunity Hamilton can get to that corner panel, Jack Sprague, he's going to have to take it. We know when this truck gets alongside another one, he can't seem to pull off the pass himself. Here he comes again to the bottom. He'll go below the double yellow line. He gets sideways. Hangs onto it. Side drafts. The 16, there's contact into turn 3 as he pulls him back. What a drive to the lead in the middle of 3 and 4, but Sprague is still there. Hamilton's not clear yet, and Hamilton squeezes him again. Sprague may have tapped the wall that time, and Hamilton leads with 2 to go at Daytona. Oh no, Hamilton! He's put it in the wall himself now. Here comes the pack with a big run into turn 1. One car down to the apron of the racetrack. It's shuffled out of line, back in front of traffic. He bobbles around, and he's going to slow him back. There's sparks flying at the back of the lead pack. Sparks flying at the front as they rub side by side down the back straightaway. Hamilton is holding on for dear life. With a damaged truck, he knows if he loses the lead again, it's maybe over. He stacks some quaffle into turn 3, and here comes one of the generated trucks on the bottom of the racetrack. Hamilton's all over the place trying to hold on. And they're coming to the white flag off of turn 4. Checkers or wreckers at Daytona. No cautions on the final lap. With a dozen or more trucks in the lead pack trying to win it. 3 wide for about 4th or 5th place heading into turn 1. Drafting all over the place. It's Casey Cook on the outside looking for the win. Contact all over the place. It's Casey Cook who hangs on after hitting the wall. As they nearly all wrecked off of turn 4, Cook is driving away from the pack. Hamilton did all he could to try and hang on. And now he's doing all he can to try and hang on for 2nd. Oh, and he nearly gets turned off of turn 4. He's going to come back across the traffic. The big one at Daytona as they come to the checkered flag. For 2nd place, down into the grass goes Hamilton. He slides into the pit lane. He's going to lose a ton of positions to the line. And Casey Cook is going to win at Daytona. And Hamilton is going to fall all the way back to 18th. Oh, my goodness. What a finish nonetheless. Hamilton held on for all he could, and he about got turned off of turn 4. I couldn't tell who was underneath him. I think it was the 163 truck. Oh my gosh. I think it was the 163. I think it was Aaron McGee. How did Casey Cook wall ride turns 1 and 2 and escape the carnage down the backstretch to pull ahead to the win? I don't know. Good for him that he was able to do so. First career win and an upset in the season opener at Daytona for generated rookie driver Casey Cook. He led 1 lap in the race today, and it was the most important one. Billy Wilson will finish in 2nd. He didn't lead a single lap. Travis Quapple led 27 laps, finishing 3rd. Jack Sprague 4th. Larry Watson rounds out the top 5. Jason Powell 6th. John Wood 7th. Aaron McGee 8th. Chad Chafin 9th. And Troy Perry rounds out the top 10. Sprague needs payback. I don't think it was Sprague that hit us. He was on the outside. I think it was Aaron McGee in the 163 truck. I'm pretty sure it was Aaron McGee in the 163 truck that got us in the left rear off of turn 4. I tried to save it. Once I clipped the apron, I overcorrected. I don't know if I could get payback considering how I was driving trying to win this race, though. I was driving like a maniac those last like 2.5 laps roughly. When I got to the inside of Sprague down the backstretch, I hit him like 3 times just to try and get around him. I'll have to look back at the replay, which I think I can go to the highlight reel. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to show the finish off of turn 4 or not. We'll have to wait and see. That was okay. So that was off of turn 2 on the last lap. I hit Aaron McGee there. I wonder if he might have been a rival. It was kind of hard to tell from that angle. It looked like Sprague was on the outside. So they did have it in the replay, but it was hard to tell what exactly happened. I think Aaron McGee might have been a rival after we made contact with him when I tried to squeeze Casey Cook. off of turn 2. I had sideswiped the 163 who was on the bottom, and he might have just tried to turn me off of 4 because he was a rival at that. Yeah, see right there. We hit him pretty good. I'm thinking he might have been mad after that, which would make sense. I would be too. Oh no, it was Billy Wilson. It was the 82 truck of Billy Wilson. Never mind. We probably hit him at some point too, though. I'm not gonna lie. I won't be looking for retaliation in the next race. I drove like a madman those last 2.5 laps trying to get my first win at Daytona in this game, but man, it's just like sometimes you just can't get over the hump at your worst racetrack, and it looked like even without a win, we were gonna have a pretty good points day to start the season. Instead, we finished 18th. Not a good start to the year, considering what we were able to do dominating the modified series, and then jumping into this one tonight. Our next race will be at Watkins Glen tomorrow on the channel. Start time for that race will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tomorrow at 6, we will run at the Watkins Glen International for the second race of this Craftsman Truck Series season on the custom schedule season. So again, we have 3 cautions for 9 caution laps, 1 hour 38 minutes total time today's race. Casey Cook pulls off the upset, winning the season opener at Daytona. Not only that, he led just 1 lap in this race. It was the last lap. A wild fireworks finish. The way this thing went for about the first 70% of it, you wouldn't have expected all that to transpire, but cautions were breeding cautions. We had 3 of them in the final 40 laps. And obviously that caution with 10 to go set up that insane finish. And of course the big one off of turn 4 coming to the checker, which the cautions don't fly in the final lap of this game. Billy Wilson finishes second after clipping the left rear Bobby Hamilton when they were 3 wide for second place, and Hamilton was in the middle off the exit of the corner. It got ugly quick, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this chaotic and wild race tonight. Again, like, share, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We'll see you for race 2 tomorrow night.